Hey everybody, I'm Austin and this is Real World Science, and those are Mina birds that you hear in the background. Anyways, we're going to keep this one short today, and we're going to talk about the things you need to consider when you're trying to decide whether or not you should go to grad school. 3 really common and important misconceptions, and what I think is the most important thing to consider before you go to grad school, because it will get you through all of the really hard times. So let's get to it. So misconception number 1 about graduate school is that with that shiny new PhD or master's degree, you are all of a sudden going to make bank. That is simply not the case. The average college degree holder makes about $65,000 in the US, the average person with a master's degree makes about $77,000, and the average person with a doctorate degree makes about $97,000 per year. Yeah, that is a meaningful increase in annual income. Just don't expect to be some Ivy League professor who gets book deals, ends up on TV shows and podcasts, and then makes like hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars every single year. Go into graduate school for the right reasons. Going for money? Maybe not the right reasons. Or if you are going, at least have reasonable expectations of what your annual income will be afterwards. Misconception number 2 about graduate school is that coming out of it with your new degree, you are somehow going to magically ascend the corporate ladder and become everybody's boss. That is simply not true. Most academics, people with PhDs, like the people who work in this building behind me, work under administrators who might have a bachelor's degree, maybe a master's, or more likely some sort of professional degree. And that reflects their experience. Those administrators know how to manage people. That is their expertise. And they are the bosses of the academics, the people with masters and PhDs who work under them. So if it bothers you working under someone, just keep in mind when you're choosing to go to grad school that going to grad school is not instantly going to make you everybody's boss. That is the wrong reason to go to grad school. Misconception number 3 about grad school is that somehow it is only meant for scientists and engineers, and that is simply not true. If you're an artist, a historian, someone who wants to study cultural sciences, or maybe you just want to study theater, all of those, you can go out and get a master's or PhD. It doesn't mean that you should, but the questions of whether or not you should go to grad school are the same for whether you're a scientist, an engineer, or an artist. So don't let this thinking that there isn't a program for you be a reason why you don't pursue graduate school. I mean, look at this stuff. We could be doing that for grad school. Okay, cue motivational music. Yeah, cool. So, the one thing that you need to get through grad school, the most important thing in my experience, is curiosity. Curiosity is really important because it is going to get you through all of the deep, dark moments you're going to have in graduate school. There are lots of highlights to graduate school, but I promise you, there will be dark moments. You're going to have times when you think to yourself that somehow you are not deserving of being there, where everyone around you is smarter than you and therefore deserves to be there, and somehow you don't. The fact that you're in graduate school means that you do deserve to be there. But nonetheless, in those moments, your motivation is going to wane. And personally, my experience is that curiosity is what I use to get my motivation back up. So when I'm really down, when I have those moments, lucky enough because I live in Hawaii and I'm a marine biologist, I go out snorkeling or I go scuba diving. I go back to that environment that when I was a kid, when I'd be at the aquarium with my face pressed up against the glass, being underwater, seeing fish, seeing invertebrates, that is what ramps up my curiosity and gets me motivated to keep on doing what I am doing back here on campus in my research. So yeah, before you decide to go to graduate school, make sure that whatever you are studying is something that you are passionate about, and most importantly, something that you are curious about, because you could end up studying that for the rest of your life. Even if you don't, in the 2 or 4 or maybe 6 years that it will take you to get through a master's or PhD program, that curiosity and passion is what's going to get you through all of the hard moments. It's going to keep your motivation up, and in my opinion, it is the most important thing that should decide whether or not you go to graduate school. So I hope this video has been helpful. Maybe we cleared up some misconceptions that you had about graduate school, or maybe you realized, yeah, I'm really curious about something and I want to study it for the rest of my life. That is fantastic. Go to graduate school if you have that curiosity. But also recognize if you don't, or maybe if you just want to be financially secure, you don't need to go to graduate school to be successful. You can be successful in whatever career path you choose, and you don't need a master's or PhD to get you there. So, with that, I'm Austin, and this has been another episode of Real World Science. I will see you guys next time. Okay, check this out. Just out of nowhere, this thing's like huge. Like, I wear a size 10.5 shoe. Macrocybes spectabilis. It looks like I'm not the only person who's come by to take a look. Something's been picking at it, or a person maybe. Some little critters hanging out on it. I asked a group of local mycologists if these things are edible, and apparently they're not. Apparently they could be edible if you like cyanide. They have moderate to low levels of cyanide, and that's just not something I'm gonna mess with. But anyways, I mean, this thing is just beautiful. Like, I have never, ever been so tempted to eat a mushroom. And actually, from the looks of it, it looks like whoever whacked the grass out here in Hawaii, they don't mow lawns, they weed whack lawns. Cut off a bunch of them here. So this has been here for a couple days, I guess. But anyways, yeah, just beautiful. It's like a whole little world in there.